We shall commence this module by discussing about environmental issues. The fact which is quite known is that humans have damaged the environment which sustains them is not new, and that nature is reverting back with increased incidences of natural disasters, global rise in temperatures, climate changes, etc. is even more visible. All of this has pressurized the international community as a whole to come together and tackle and prevent the damage being done to the environment. For this to be successful, different countries have to work together, rules have to be framed, policies made and implemented. This requires institutions where specialists from the field work to come out with the measures to safeguard the environment. In India, the nodal agency, that is the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change in the central government's administrative structure for planning, coordination, promotion and monitoring the enforcement of India's environmental and forestry policy and programs. The ministry serving as the nodal agency in the country for the United Nations Environment Programme, that is UNEP, International Centre for Integrated Mountain Development, that is ICIMOD, South Asia Cooperative Environment Programme, that is SACEP, and for the follow-up of the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, that is UNCED. The ministry is thrusted with the matters related to multilateral bodies such as the Commission on Sustainable Development, Global Environment Facility, and of the regional bodies like Economic and Social Council for Asia and Pacific and South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation on the matters pertaining to the environment. The ministry implements policies and programs related to conservation of the country's natural resources, including its rivers and lakes, its biodiversity, wildlife and forest, securing animal welfare, and pollution prevention and abatement. It also gives data on the project's clearances and rules and regulations related to pollution, environmental protection, wildlife, etc. Users can get the access to information regarding actions and reports with regard to the change in climate and conservation of biodiversity, and also about major initiatives such as Compensatory Afforestation Fund Management and Planning Authority, National River Conservation Plan and National Ganga River Basin Authority. After studying this module, you would be able to understand the need to have institutions earmarked to protect the environment, know about various environmental institutions functioning in India, know about the various grassroots movements in India to protect the environment, understand both individual and institutional efforts in safeguarding the environment. Let us learn about the institutions for environmental education and research in India. G.B. Pant Institute of Himalayan Environment and Development. It is the focal agency for advancement of scientific knowledge, evolving unified strategies of management, effectiveness for conserving natural resources, and ensuring the environmentally stable development in the whole Indian Himalayan region, which is also known as IHR. The research and development activities of the institutes are centered on 6 themes, namely socio-economic development, that is SED, environmental assessment and management, namely EAM, watershed process and management, namely WPM, knowledge product and capacity building, which is also known as KCB, biodiversity conservation and management, which is also known as BCM, and biotechnology applications, also known as BTA. The institute tries in maintaining balance between socio-cultural, ecological, physical and economic system which will result into sustainability in the IHR, that is Indian Himalayan region. For this, particular attention directed to the preservation of fragile mountain ecosystems, indigenous knowledge systems, and sustainable usage of natural resources. Steps needed to ensure local participation for long-term acceptance and success of the programs. Apex body, Indian Council of Forestry Research Education in the National Forestry Research System. It has 9 regional research institutes and 4 research centers established in diverse biogeographical regions of the country and striving towards a unified development of research in forestry via the need-based planning, promoting, conducting and coordinating research, education and extension taking into account all matters related to forestry. The Council is directed to provide solutions-based forestry research according to the sector's forthcoming issues, worldwide concerns like climate change, conservation of biological diversity, combating desertification, and sustainable management and development of resources. Indian Institute of Forest Management. Indian Institute of Forest Management is an institute sectoral management which constantly tries evolving knowledge that is beneficial to the managers in the area of forest environment and natural resource management and allied sectors. It propagates like knowledge in manner promoting the application to individuals and organizations. IIFM provides training in management and related subjects for the person from the Indian Forest Service, forest departments, forest development corporations and forest related industries. It selects and prepares outstanding and talented young people for careers leading to management responsibility in forestry and forest related system. It also institutes awards, fellowships, scholarships, prizes and medals with regard to the rules and bylaws. Worldwide Fund for Nature. India WWF's goal is to alleviate planet's natural environment degradation and form future where human stays in harmony with nature by conserving the world's biological diversity, ensure that the usage of natural resources is sustainable and the promotion of pollution reduction and wasteful consumption. WWF India undertakes different activities in the area of nature protection, starting from education and capacity building to other areas like biodiversity field projects, policy studies, enviro-legal action and advocacy, and even in the areas such as conservation and religion. Environment Protection Training and Research Institute is India's chief agency which provides training, applied research services, consultancy and extending advocacy in the area of environment protection to industries, regulatory bodies, government organizations and NGOs and works toward bringing about change for a more balanced development. It involves diverse areas related to environmental matters such as protected areas and biodiversity, environmental awareness, urban agglomeration, human resource development, capacity building and research. Its services include environmental engineering and management, environment and sustainable development, environmental quality mapping, environmental information system, laboratory services, capacity building and NINE, that is 9+. Environmental Information System, also known as ENVIS. ENVIS, that is Environmental Information System, is a comprehensive network in environmental information collection, collation, storage, retrieval and dissemination to decision makers, policy planners, scientists and engineers, research workers, etc. all over the country. Large number of nodes known as ENVIS centers have been established in the network to cover the broad subject areas of environment with a focal point in the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. ENVIS, due to its comprehensive network, has been designed as the national focal point for InfoTerra, a global environmental informational network of the United Nations Environment Programme, that is UNEP. National Afforestation and Eco-Development Board is responsible for promoting afforestation, tree planting, ecological restoration and eco-development activities in the country with special focus on degraded forest areas and lands adjoining the forest areas, national parks, sanctuaries and other protected areas, as well as the ecologically fragile areas like the Western Himalayas, Aravallis, Western Ghats, etc. It also sponsors research and creates general awareness and helps foster people's movement with the assistance of voluntary agencies, NGOs, Panchayati Raj institutions, etc. Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology is a chief research institute for the generation of scientific knowledge in the area of meteorology and atmospheric sciences that can be applied in various fields like agriculture, health economics, transportation, water resources, communication, etc. It functions as a central center for basic and applied research in monsoon meteorology. Center for Environment Education, also known as CEE. CEE is striving towards giving the recognition EE deserves in promoting sustainable development. New programs and educational materials are and construct capacity in the area of communication and education for sustainable development. It exhibits projects in education, communication and development that endorse attitudes, strategies and technologies that are environmentally sustainable. Center for Ecological Sciences. It extends the chances for research in different fields in ecology, evolution and behavior. It is establishing long-term monitoring programs at key biodiversity areas all over the country to keep an eye on responses to anthropogenic impacts and climate change and to provide basis for capacity building, training and outreach. It is also planning to set up Natural History Museum showing the large flora and fauna collection and to educate and entertain the public with its finding. CES is evolving, expanding and diversifying its activities in teaching, research, outreach and conservation whilst maintaining its standard of academic excellence. CPR Environmental Education Center has been groundbreaker in environmental education efforts in the South India. It is directed towards increasing awareness level of crucial target groups such as school children, local communities and women about various aspects of environment. The center also strengthens educators' capacities and practitioners in the area of environment education and encourages nature's conservation and its resources. Tropical Botanic Garden and Research Institute is an R&D institution which is set up for conserving the tropical plant genetic resources and developing strategies for sustainable utilization. The Indian government recognized the JNTBGRI as a national center for excellence. The institute, situated at the foothills of the Western Ghats in a 121-hectare forest land with hills and hillocks and evergreen marshy grasslands and rocky areas, giving diverse microclimatic conditions for the richness of the tropical species. The institute is preserving more than 4,000 species of flowering plants and about 300 species of non-flowering angiosperms, which is the highest number of plant species conserved among the Asia's botanic gardens. The institute has an extended center with Saraswati Thanguvela Center at Puthenthrope, where Bioinformatics Center is constituted. Center for Excellence in Environmental Economics. The Madras School of Economics has been designated as a Center for Excellence in Environmental Economics by the MOEF from 2002. The main objectives of the center are to do research on issues of national importance along with providing teaching and training support to students, technicians, economists, non-economists, industry and disseminate the relevant and latest information in the field of environmental economics. As a part of its research agenda, COE has decided to work on design of economic instruments for environmental protection, cost-benefit analysis, trade and environment, applied policy-oriented topics of interest to the MOEF. National Environmental Engineering Research Institute, which is also known as NEERI, is engaged in research and innovations in environmental science and engineering apart from solving a range of problems posed by industry, government and public. It is a constituent of Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, New Delhi, and has a presence across the country with 5 zonal laboratories at Chennai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Kolkata and Mumbai. It also collaborates and interacts with academic and research institutions on environmental science and engineering for mutual benefit. NEERI's focus areas are indoor air quality, ambient air quality, drinking water, water resources, wastewater, industry, biophytoremediation, municipal solids and hazardous waste, energy security and health. The Energy and Resources Institute, that is TERI, is an ever-evolving organization with a global vision and a local focus. It was established in 1974 with the initial focus on information dissemination and documentation. Research activities were started towards the end of 1982 and were rooted in TERI's firm conviction to efficiently utilize energy and make sustainable use of natural resources. For this, it has established regional centers in Bengaluru, Goa, Mumbai, Guwahati and the Himalayas and set up affiliate institutes TERI NA, Washington DC, USA and TERI Europe, London, UK. Apart from these, it also has presence in Japan, Malaysia and the UAE and a research base in Africa. Next, we shall discuss about the grassroots movement over the years. Some of the grassroots environmental movements are Bishnoi movement. In the early part of the 18th century in Rajasthan, the people of Bishnoi community under the leadership of a lady called Amrita Devi laid down their lives to successfully protect the trees from being felled on the order of the Maharaja of Jodhpur, as after this incident the Maharaja gave a strong royal decree preventing the cutting of trees in all Bishnoi villages. The Chipko movement came into place when government decided to allocate a plot of forest area in the Alaknanda valley to Sport Goods Company. With this, villagers became angry as earlier a like demand for the usage of wood for agricultural tools had been. The first Chipko action came into existence in April 1973 in Mandal village in the upper Alaknanda valley and in the next 5 years dissipated to many districts of the Himalayan in Uttar Pradesh. The movement resisted to the destruction of forests spread throughout India and came to be known as the Chipko movement as the villagers hugged the trees and prevented the contractors from felling them. The Chipko protest in Uttar Pradesh resulted in a 15-year ban on green felling in the Himalayan forest of that state. Since then, the movement has spread to many states in the country. The Apiko movement in the South India's Chipko movement. It uses various techniques to raise awareness like foot marches in the interior forest, slide shows, folk dances, street plays and so on. It has not only stopped this felling of trees but is also working on bringing barren land under tree cover and green energy. Save Silent Valley movement was initiated when a dam was proposed to be built on Kuntipuza river, which takes its origin in the Silent Valley, which is an evergreen tropical forest in the Palakkad district of Kerala, India. It was started in 1973 to save the Silent Valley Reserve Forest from being flooded by the hydroelectric project. The valley was declared as Silent Valley National Park in 1985, but the controversy surrounding the valley is still on. Balyapal movement. On the east coast of India, the peasants and fisher folk of Balyapal and Bhograi village stood against the central government and military establishment as they were facing forced eviction and relocation from their homes and lands to make way for government's national testing range, a site for testing and launching of satellites, rockets and long-range missiles. Narmada Bachao Andolan. It sparked off when 30 major, 135 medium and 3000 small dams were granted approval for the construction by the tribunal, including raising the height of the Sardar Sarovar Dam. It consisted of Adivasis, farmers, environmentalists and human rights activities, namely Medha Patkar, Baba Amte and the like, campaigning against such a move through hunger strikes and garnering support from the film and art personalities, notably Bollywood actor Amir Khan, Arundhati Roy. Save Ganga movement. The utility, aesthetic and religious value of Ganga and of the Himalaya is invaluable, yet the pollution level of Ganga continues to be alarmingly high. The objective of Save Ganga movement is to create mass awareness for an eco-friendly, non-violent culture of development for the protection of our life-sustaining natural systems and to put moral pressure on the government to take time-bound decisive steps to completely and permanently save them. It was initiated by National Women's Organization, Pune, as a non-violent movement to save the Ganga and the Giriraj Himalayas in particular. It holds rallies, seminars, workshops and panel discussions on the issue. Jangal Bachao Andolan. When the government decided to replace the natural sal forest with highly valued teak, the tribals of Singhbhum district of Bihar came out in strong numbers to protest against this decision. Having started in Bihar, the movement spread to other states like Odisha and Jharkhand. Navdanya. It is a movement for earth democracy based on the philosophy of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. It protects India's biodiversity based food heritage through Bija Swaraj, Anna Swaraj, Bhu Swaraj and Gyan Swaraj. Through Bija Swaraj, it has created 122 community seed banks in 18 states of India and Bhutan. These are distributed to the farmers in case of calamities. Through Anna Swaraj, it helped the farmers and consumers through the awareness of benefits of local, fresh, organic, nutritious foods. Through Bhu Swaraj, it is committed to protect the living soil, and through Gyan Swaraj, it promotes knowledge, democracy, knowledge sovereignty and scientific research on biodiversity, agroecology and climate change. It has challenged the biopiracy of our traditional knowledge and indigenous biodiversity and won the cases related to neem, basmati and wheat. Development Alternatives is the world's first social enterprise dedicated to sustainable development. It is a research and action organization which is striving to deliver socially equitable, environmentally sound and economically scalable development outcomes. Development Alternatives, which is also known as DAs, green technology innovations for habitat, water, energy and waste management, which deliver basic needs and generate sustainable livelihoods, have reduced poverty and rejuvenated the natural ecosystems in the most backward regions of India. The Panchimada struggle against Coca-Cola. Hindustan Coca-Cola Beverages Private Limited, that is HCCBPL, commenced operation at its bottling plant at Plachimada in the southern state of Kerala in March 2000. The plant's hazardous effects started showing in the area surrounding it as the groundwater got contaminated and toxic waste was released. The people of Plachimada interested group and NGOs fought against it, leading to the eventual shutdown of operations at the plant in January 2006. Jhola Andolan. Jhola Andolan strives to promote the use, manufacture, store of cloth, paper, jute and other biodegradable carry bags and reduce the use of plastic carry bags. Tarun Bharat Sangh, that is TBS. It is a non-governmental organization in Rajasthan and is best known for doing ecological research and land development to provide clean water to people. Apart from these, there have been movements opposing nuclear power, plants, read the Kaiga nuclear plant and the like, and hydroelectric projects, read Gumti hydroelectric power project, Tehri project, Koil Karo project, etc. Then there have been movements by people against mining like the Save Kundremukh movement, a mountain range threatened by open cast mining of KIOCL. This is not a comprehensive list because these movements now run into hundreds. As awareness among people is increasing, they are raising their voices and initiating movements in their respective capacities to protect their environment. Let us now summarize what we have learned from this module. From the discussion, it can be seen that the government and some careful people of India have understood the danger posed by the changing environmental conditions. The government is carrying out extensive research in collaboration with research institutes from the country and abroad and taking steps to come out with greener and more sustainable technologies and practices. Similarly, people whose immediate environment is being hampered by corporates, etc., are raising their voices against it and they are trying to figure out a middle path which does not compromise either on development or on sustainability. These institutions and movements help in bringing the like-minded people together under one umbrella who then work together for the betterment of the environment. These efforts over the years have resulted in reorientation of the environmental policy towards the prevention of pollution, development of technologies for sustainable development, creation of awareness about recycle and reuse, and development of a database on environmental threats, their mapping, etc. All this will go a long way in protecting the environment.